Like this keeps popping up in geography class where, what a mess. What a mess. And I feel like your generation gets hammered over the head, like the environment's bad, the environment's bad, the environment's bad. But it's almost like you don't know how to begin. Like where do you try and make an effort towards sustainability when there's so much going on? We're so interconnected. That's really what it comes down to. We're consuming, but other countries' level of development is being impacted because of our consumption.
It's the pollution that comes along with producing certain products. It's the smoke that comes out of those factories. Then it's the product itself could be littered or just it's a single use, and those are awful as well. Then there's the trucks that take them to the different locations where they sell the product. It's the whole chain of all the pollution that creates tons of emissions.
We're very much tied in this together, and that if we want to be a leader in the world and model sustainability, that other countries will follow our example. The resources on the planet are shared, however we are consuming most of those resources. And so to live sustainably is to try and start changing the way that you live so that you're living in balance with the environment. So much of the environment is environment we eventually share.
What I think we're facing today in the 21st century is a bigger problem that is a little harder to get our heads around, because that's about the sustainability of the entire climate system. Climate change involves the entire circulation of the air and water on the planet, and we've been altering that by increasing the amount of fossil fuels that we burn and the carbon dioxide that we emit into the atmosphere. So figuring out how to make that sustainable is difficult because it involves potentially dramatically changing the way that we actually go through our daily lives.
And I keep coming back to the idea of consumption, because how privileged and awesome we are to be living in the United States. But we are only approximately like a fifth of the entire population. And we consume 25% of all of the everything, like the food and the oil and the paper products and oh my gosh, we're consumers. Think about your consumption. Like, just that thought of wait a minute before I consume.
So next time you go to the store, you need to think about what you buy and what that does. And it's just be aware of what you consume and what you support through consuming these things.
Our consumption of resources and our contribution to problems like global warming is vastly outsized for our population. Those who are kind of contributing the most to the problem may not feel nearly as much of the effects.
I get overwhelmed sometimes, because how does one person make a dent in what seems overwhelming?
Gandhi said, which always sticks with me, is change starts with you. Even though it may seem like what you're doing is not that important, if everybody does it, it 100% will have a huge impact.
Buying fair trade so that when you buy your coffee, that you're not supporting child labor. Think about turning off your lights. When you are shutting off your lights and you're doing your part, you're making this small contribution to living sustainably.
There's a lot that every individual who goes to Monarch can do. Try to eat less meat, try to buy clothes from thrift stores instead of giving money to all these mass producers of clothes.
All you Monarch kids that just put your trash down right next to your car. Throw away trash.
Because I think that's the biggest problem, overconsumption. Do what you can, just be aware of that.
So I would actually say that while it would be great for any individual person to do things like, reduce their energy consumption, maybe reduce their driving by themselves, what could probably make a bigger difference is being more politically active, making it clear that these issues are a priority for you. So staying aware of those issues is probably the most powerful thing that an individual can do at this point.
You should stay politically active and keep up with what's happening regarding the big corporations and climate change, because I really do think that as much as you want to try and help as an individual, it's really hard to do so when these companies keep doing what they're doing. They're not changing anything. I really think that change needs to come with these corporations if we want to get something done.
kids that come out of Monarch are going to be the kids that are creating policy and really running this world. They're going to be smart enough and talented enough to do so.